Yokoso, 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 konbanwa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Arigato gozaimasu. Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday night, so it must be, well, it's Monday night in the UK, so it must be the Stadia Monday Night Chat. And you know what? It is. Welcome, welcome, one and all. I hope you are good. I hope you are well on this fine Monday today as we near the end of the summer. I was going to say there. Feels like it today. No, near the end of August, which of course means we are more than likely going to find out what the Stadia Pro titles are for September, probably tomorrow. So I think there's a high chance we'll find out what the Stadia Pro titles are tomorrow. And on that kind of thing, hopefully we're going to see some new games, not just old games that become Stadia Pro games, but some new games like we did in June. I think we had about 5 or 6 Stadia Pro games that were new to Stadia. So on that note, you'll see in the poll I've got going there, do you think Stadia will hit the 100 games? So it did say 100 games at the beginning, right up until March, they were saying there'll be 100 games. And then as sites like 9 to 5 love to point out on a regular basis, they haven't published that statement since, like as if that means anything. But anyway, there you go. Why not, take a negative twist on these things? Anyway, let me know in that poll whether you think we'll hit the 100 titles. I mean, there have been some delays that we know about from developers and publishers. Ubisoft have pushed a couple of titles back into the next year, and they're probably not alone in that. This is what happens. Anyway, hopefully there's some wriggle room, and we'll come to that. We'll look at how we're going, how Stadia is progressing in terms of the games this year and all of that. Of course, let me know what games, current games you have been playing. Have you managed to get through all the Stadia Pro games for August anyway? Have you dipped your toe in those? Have you tried any of the free trials? 134. I think it may have even gone up. I think I saw a tweet today for another outright game. So it could be 135. Certainly was 134 this morning. Again, we'll take a further look at that, which is just amazing, really, for people who are new to Stadia, want to try Stadia. We've talked about that. Anyway, as ever, say hello in the chat. Get yourself down in the chat. Say hello. Don't be shy. It is the Stadia Monday Night Chat. The show would be nothing without you. Of course, we'll have all the Stadia news, all the rumors, all the game confirmations, all of that from the last week or so. Of course we do. We do the research on this show. We don't just turn up. Yeah? No. Days of work goes into this show. Don't you worry about that. So anyway, put down in the chat games you've been playing, any questions you might have. Make sure you partake in the Stadia poll and all of that. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to stage dive into the mosh pit that is the front row that we like to call early bird chat. Let's see who's in the early bird chat. Of course, Jerome. Hello, Jerome. Always rely on reliable Jerome. Always in there. And he's been playing Dirt 5, Madden 22, World War Z. Interestingly enough, I played World War Z last week. Just fancied it. It was a few games. I was in one of those moods where I couldn't find the game. Just wasn't satisfied. I tried a bit of Far Cry, Primal, bit of PUBG. I wanted to shoot a game. Didn't satisfy me. Nothing was satisfying me. WWZ. Yeah. Hit the mark. I must go back and play more of that. Watch Dogs Legion and a bit of Centipede, of course. And yeah, hit the likes. Please hit the likes. It helps because I like it. YouTube likes it. And it helps wonderful people like you, bright, intelligent people, because that's why you're here, find bright, intelligent content like this, ladies and gentlemen, of course. And if you are new here, arigato gozaimasu, yokoso, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and then you'll know when I go live. And what haven't you been playing, Jerome? Oh, and Tokyo Olympics. Victor, as ever. I want to say Nemis. There, but it could just be N3MM13. I think it's Nemis. Hello, how are you? Good to see you there. ER gaming, lovely. Let's not talk about that. Moving on swiftly on ER gaming, hey. Hi there, Nemis. Yes, well, okay. Moving on. Let's get over that. Let's get over that. Yeah. One day close to FIFA 23. Lord Kensal did play FIFA 23. He's got a new setup that he was tried out. Didn't tweet it out. We didn't promote his stream, but it was just a quick match of FIFA 22 because he has plans to do a regular FIFA 23 stream, maybe on Tuesday nights, a regular FIFA 23 stream. Brand new setups, looking very good, even if I do say so myself. Lord Kensal, over on the Lord Kensal channel, every Tuesday from when FIFA 23 launches, basically. Oh, in the middle of the watching Sky Sports, I saw the Saints Row advertisement, and it was great to see the Stadia logo. Indeed. Stadia gets mainstream. Nemis is saying, I've just begun game streaming myself. I have a PS4 plus a Shield Pro, which has their version of stream gaming. So I'm learning about Stadia as much as possible. Well, welcome. Welcome. What a good time to come to Stadia. There are so many trials. I say 134, possibly 135 free trials. They just keep adding them. You look away and there's another one to give you a chance to really have a go. Of course, you can stream direct to YouTube and all of that. They've enhanced that now. I think, you know, the quality of that, streaming 4K and all of those things. Very good. ER Gaming says, for me, it's my main gaming platform. Me too. Everything I need with all the convenience. Yeah, I've got my son and his mate are staying over. So they're occupying the whole house, basically. So I just took myself off to my bedroom where I've got my a big TV in my bedroom. Fired up Stadia in there because I've got a Chromecast on that. So that is the beauty of it. I could play it on the PC, play it on my big TV downstairs, my big TV in my bedroom, or at the airport on my plane. Fantastic. Good job I didn't put on the other one there, Jerome. Yeah. Any room in the house. That's the beauty of it. 204 now games in the Stadia library. Well done, Victor. It's Gizmo Duck, Austria. Hello, good Abend from Austria. InLED, we'll be having some regular InLED graphics later. Shout out to InLED. Christopher, I'm listening, of course. Torres. They haven't failed yet. Exactly. It might be tight, but you know, I'm not gonna be up in their grill if it's 99 games or something, you know. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Hey, Peda. Oh, yeah. Don't worry, Peda. We're moving on from that. Don't worry. It's early days in the season. Yeah. Don't worry. We'll come good. Confident there, Peda. Yes, Mr. Barrett. Look, honestly, just forget about it. Put it to one side, move on. Next match. That's how we go about it. You know, I was thinking of doing some watch-alongs, and I was going to do an experimental watch-along. All I'm going to say, I'm glad I didn't really. Yeah. Let me know if you're interested in doing some watch-alongs. The football, you know, the soccer supporters, do some watch-alongs. It'll be on a different channel. I might just do some watch-alongs, but let me know if you're interested in doing that sort of thing anyway. Destiny 2 season. Yeah, new season coming. Back on Avengers, says Lugo there. WZ. I think it was Emma. I think I saw Emma streaming it. And I think it spurred me on, actually, because I just forgot how good it looked. And I thought, you know, I'm going to play that. So it may have been Emma's stream that I just kind of came across and thought, oh, what a good idea. Let's get that going. Hey, Primo, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Cloud Gaming Dad. Evening, everyone. Good to see you, sir. Always good to see you. Doesn't look like the next PGA game will be coming to Stadia. Yeah, probably not. If we go by the it's Take-Two 2K games. I think they are on a wait and see. They're still waiting and seeing, which is fair enough. Anyway, that's the early bird chat. Thank you for all that. I mean, I think the game, does it really need an update, PGA? Just keep playing the one you've got. I think your Take-Twos and that will come around. They're just, it's when it's of interest to them, and it's just not of interest yet. But as Stadia expands to Mexico, to Turkey, next year, other places, yeah, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's the early bird chat. Thank you for partaking. Thank you for putting in. Remember to stick with the poll. Let me know. Oh, it's gone down to 61%. The yeses was high. Obviously, the keen guys and girls at the beginning. Some doubt coming in there. Anyway, we'll talk about it a bit more. We'll look at some stats and all of those. But I think it's time for the Stadia news. Let's look at some of the games that will be adding, building towards that 100 Stadia games in this week's Stadia news. So it's over to Clive. Clive, you ready? In there? You good? Okay, so it's over to Clive in the Stadia news studio. Clive, over to you. Thanks, Clive. In a week that we have a big AAA game launching on Stadia in the form of Saints Row that's landing this week, we also have a list of games confirmed or rumoured to be coming to Stadia in the very near future. In the file marked confirmed games, we have the following. There was a big announcement from the developers of From Space, the much anticipated multiplayer alien apocalypse game that had a very early demo exclusively on Stadia. Well, it finally gets a launch date. From Space announced in a tweet that the invasion is coming as From Space arrives on Stadia and other platforms on September the 29th. With squads of up to 4 players, the apocalypse has never been so much fun. And now a potential game of the year, yes, ladies and gentlemen, has now been confirmed for Stadia. Again, we've been saying this game is coming to Stadia on this show for quite a while now. Well, now, as I say, this potential game of the year is now confirmed. Yes, what am I talking about? Bratz, Flaunt Your Fashion, is coming to consoles and PC soon, including Stadia, in the autumn of this year. Join Yasmin, Chloe and Sasha, who are ready for their most scorching adventure yet. Jackbox Party Pack 9 is coming to Stadia in autumn as well. Play 5 uproarious new games in one party pack. We've got the Trivia Bluff Off Fibbage 4. The hilarious bluffing party game returns with an all-new Final Fibbage. Themed episodes, video questions, fan-submitted questions, and Fibbage Enough About You mode. It's a game so beloved, they decided to slap a 4 on it. Also in the pack is the Team Sorting Test Quizort. In this trivia sorting factory, work with your team to sort fooling answers into their proper order before they hit the floor. And we have Magical Joke Auction, Junktopia. A strange wizard has turned you into a frog. Create hilarious backstories for weird objects and then get them appraised by your fellow players. And then there's a silly Guess Fest Non-Sensory. Professor Nanas is here to test your NSP, non-sensory perception, in this drawing, writing and guessing game. And finally, we have the salacious reality TV game Rumour. Channel your inner reality TV star in an attempt to come out on top of your fellow players. Respond to prompts, bring the competition and roleplay to avoid being voted out. Clive, it's time to leave the Big Brother house. Clockwork Origins hinted at a release date this week for Tri-6 Infinite. Tri-6 Infinite, of course, is a sort of racing cyberspace meets Wipeout type game. And they hinted that they might be revealing its launch date in a tweet last week. And since there is a This Week on Stadia tomorrow, possibly a Stadia Pro title for September, you'll have to keep an eye out on This Week on Stadia blog post tomorrow. We might find out more then. In file under Rumour Now section, Let's face it, we know they're coming to Stadia. Starting with Slaycation, a game we said last week was rumoured coming to Stadia following a leaked Stadia trailer. Well, it seems even more certain now, as it has a rating on ESRB. Since it's out on PC and console already, again, Stadia Pro title for September, anyone? After all, Frog Island is from the same publisher, and that dropped on Pro last month. Atari, who seems to be best pals with Stadia at the moment, is teasing us with more Stadia news coming soon. In a tweet by Atari about Tempest 2000 coming to Atari 50th anniversary celebrations, they added, "We have exciting Stadia news next month." Teasing us with their news. Could this be new games on top of the Atari games we already know are coming to Stadia? Or even some of those games being Stadia Pro games? We are in the week in which we might find out what games are Stadia Pro for September. And Centipede Recharged was a Stadia Pro game. Skull and Bones now, and Ubisoft revealed some more details around the weapons, armor, and combat within the game, highlighting things like combat tactics, various weapons and armor, multiplayer, including PvP and PvE. The game's looking very interesting at the moment. I still wish it was more like Sea of Thieves with actual sword fighting, PvP, etc., but that's just because I'm an old grizzled pirate legend. Arr. Are you looking for a new gaming monitor? How about this? The new 55-inch curved gaming monitor from Samsung. This is meant to be the ultimate gaming monitor, with 55 inches of 165 Hz, Dolby Atmos, 1 millisecond response time. It can be swiveled vertically or horizontally, but this is the thing for Stadia. It also has the Samsung Gaming Hub built in, which means has the Stadia app built in, which means you can use the Gaming Hub in glorious 55-inch curved goodness and play Stadia to your heart's content. And finally, it's farewell to Basel Sabah. Who he? Well, viewers of this show will know that he is a Stadia product manager and the source of much Stadia info we've used on this channel, thanks to his tweets about Stadia engineering jobs coming up, Stadia updates in the app, and things like that. Plus, all his support of Stadia community tweets that he's shown, which goes to show that the Stadia team is watching and paying attention to us as Stadians out here on Twitterland and on YouTube, and even those miserable basement-dwelling keyboard hacks on Reddit. Joking. Thanks for all your work, Basil, helping to bring us Stadia and its continued improvements. It's much appreciated, Basil. Good luck at Meta, and see you in the metaverse. And that's it, the Stadia news for today. So back to Clive, live in the Stadia Monday Night Chat studio. Clive, it's back to you. Thanks, Clive. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Who fancies one of those Samsung gaming... it's got a name for it, I forgot. Anyway, the big Samsung gaming entertainment center, as it were. The gaming monitor, it looks a monster, but just really weird because they seem to show it in its portrait mode quite a lot, with like effectively 3 screens sort of curved over looking at you. I'm not sure I could probably work like that. Could I game and stream? Where would I put my camera? Anyway, it looks very interesting, and it's interesting that obviously it makes sense when you think about it that the Samsung Gaming Hub is part of it, it's built into it, so you get to experience Stadia and xCloud and GeForce Now and Luna, I think, can't remember now, but you know, all built into the kind of crazy monitor that it is. So let me know, would you fancy one of those? That's very interesting. And of the games, as you see, there's a handful of games or potential games that were mentioned, probably added up to more than 10. Which brings me neatly to, as I say, in the poll is still going. 63% of people in the poll. Do you think Stadia will hit the 100 games? Which maybe give you some context and background. It's, yeah, good question. How much would that be? It's not cheap, Jerome. Oh, I know that. Yeah, it's not cheap, put it that way. Let's check out. Here we go. So here we are. This is Stadia release chart. And I think, let me just double check. There'll be 4, yes, with tomorrow, Saints Row and Yars. I wondered about those two. Yars, of course, is coming out tomorrow. Saints Row and Yars Recharge. There'll be 47 games on Stadia with 53 games remaining. There are 130 days left, which is 2.85 games a week. So sort of 3 games a week. Doable. I mean, you know, you could get 10 in one go. We had, yeah, actually it'd have to be like July. We had 10 games in July. No, 11 games in July. So, yeah, you'd need another July at least going forward. Anyway, let's look at the chart in more detail, ladies and gentlemen, and then you'll see. So I think he's added in the 2 games here. So there's a little upturn. I don't know if you can see, but a little upturn. So that must be Saints Row and Yars Recharge. And then interestingly enough here, in 2020, there was a bit of a spike. If you can see that there in September, which must have been the September Pro games right at the beginning. You can see it reflected at the bottom down here. Must have been the September Pro games. So hopefully we'll see a similar spike for the September programs. As I say, we'll find out tomorrow, hopefully. But it's doable. And obviously there's a big spike here in December. I remember 2020, there was a hell of a lot of games that came in December. I think it was even one on Christmas Eve. It was Thethello, whatever, Setulo Does Christmas, or whatever it was. But yeah, so that's where we are. That is the state of the play. So it's doable. But, you know, I don't want to use a football analogy. You know, it gets, if you just keep drawing and losing, it gets harder. That the top gets further away. Yeah. The target gets further away, if you know what I mean. But they do need, indeed, in LED says they need to double. He's saying they need to double their rate. I think there will be an increase in the games. It's still, I think, you know, it's doable. They have to, but I am expecting a flurry of games in the last quarter, and we're going to need it. We're going to need it in this last quarter if we're going to hit the 100. And if we don't hit the 100, it's ultimately down to developer delays. It's not down to, I wouldn't say it's down to Stadia per se. It's not like, oh no, Stadia's shutting down, they're slowing down. It just, you know, it is a reflection of developer and publisher delays. As I say, we already know Ubisoft, you know, have delays. I'm not changing the goalposts like many people might do or say or accuse me of. I'm just merely saying there clearly have been some delays we know of anyway. And then if you extrapolate that across the industry, then there you go. But anyway, doable. We could see a flurry of games and all of that. No more drama, says 55-inch Odessey Ark, 4K UHD, 165 hertz, 1 millisecond quantum mini LED curved gaming stream. Ka-ching! $3,500. Right, get them super chats in. We've got a long way to go, people. A long way to go. Anyway, as I say, keep voting in the old poll. As I said, that's the chart. We're still potentially, we're not far off 2020. of where we need to be. But there you go. Interesting question here. 0 games for me. It's going to be indie games at this stage. Bangers. I mean, you know, what constitute a bangers? How many bangers are actually coming out? You know, big titles, multi-platform titles. To be honest, you know, we assume, where are all the AAAs? But exactly on Stadia. Well, where are all the AAAs on anything? I would argue, you know, Ubisoft, which we know we can rely on. What have they got? Skull and Bones. We're still waiting for X Defiant. We're still waiting for Roller Champions. So, you know. Exactly, Mr. Vane plays. You know, we can't, I don't think, other than, you know, FIFA, the big, and Ubisoft, which we know, don't expect to see the big titles from the big publishers per se, but the mid-range publishers like the Deep Silvers, something like that, who are bringing us Saints Row, stuff like that, we can expect to see the games. I think next year things will change. Oh, you say that, yeah, but you think about it logically. Player base is going to increase dramatically by the end of the year. On this show, we've deep dived into the player numbers in Mexico. We deep dived last week, I think it was, into the player numbers in Turkey. And we believe there are other territories coming next year as well, based on stuff. Let's just put it that way. Yeah. Yeah, Rollerdrome looks kind of fun, actually, from EA, though. Konbanwa. Yoshida Konbanwa. Talking of that, Yoshida just reminded me there, Japanese independent developer. She's not a Japanese independent developer. Did you watch the interview on Stadium Connect North, Ninja Guy X, and obviously Four Scars Gaming with Honda from Dungeons to the Gravestone, the Japanese indie game that's coming to Stadia? Very, very interesting. Which reminds me, highly recommended. It was late at night for me. I had to watch it on VOD on catch up, but really interesting interview because the indie is sort of self-published. Okay. And he just decided, because it's his own thing, his own company, as it were, he was approached by Stadia. Now, this is the key thing. He was approached by a Stadia representative, Stadia product manager, at a Japanese game show. That sounds weird. Japanese game show. Takashi's Castle. No, not that sort of thing. A gaming conference, a Japanese gaming conference. There is a guy who works for Stadia in Japan, Stadia product manager. He's based in Tokyo, Google in Tokyo, Stadia product manager out there. So I'm assuming it's him. Don't know. And maybe some other people work with this guy. I don't know. Anyway, but interestingly enough, the Japanese developer met the guy from Stadia at a Japanese gaming festival indie thing and was introduced to Stadia, even though Stadia is not available, obviously, in Japan yet. And so he's taken this indie, Japanese indie, has taken a leap. He has no numbers. He has no figures. He doesn't know how well Stadia is perceived, is doing, because obviously it's not in Japan. But he just went with his gut and thought, why not? And he's bringing his game, Dungeons and Gravestones, to Stadia. Now, there's two interesting things in that. The first one is people say, you know, when we have these various game conferences and stuff, people like that, they go, I'm live. Entertaining my son and his friend. No respect. No respect for live shows. Anyway, interesting thing. Indie Japanese developer went with his gut after being approached by a Stadia representative at a Japanese indie game festival thing earlier I think in January. I think it was in January. John's in the chat. He can correct me. Early in January. Which tells you that Stadia have got representatives all over the world. One. Yeah. And two, they attend these gaming expos, these gaming festivals. So when people say, oh, Stadia have got no presence at such and such, Stadia have got no presence, what you're saying is you're not seeing Stadia advertise themselves publicly. Now I say this, that's not to say that Stadia aren't represented at these gaming conferences. For example, it's GamesCon in Cologne, one of my favorite cities. When I was a kid, I went there a couple of times. You don't need to know that. But yeah, GamesCon is happening now in Germany. And I know for a fact Stadia are there. And they're having meetings. Back in the day, just like, back in the day when I went to E3 in LA, set up loads of meetings. It's all behind the scenes. It's not necessarily front and center advertising yourself out to the public. So we know that meetings are being had. Stadia is working constantly to bring games to the platform. We know this for a fact, but we don't, it's like a swan. Yeah. No, wrong analogy. It's like an iceberg. Yeah. The games we see, or the games we come across coming to Stadia are a small representative of what's going on underneath the water in terms of conversations being had with indies, developers, publishers. And we know for a fact Stadia were at Japanese games festivals talking to publishers, indies. We know that for a fact. We know Stadia are at GamesCon in Cologne right now. Right? I know this for a fact from various sources, but also from it's publicly been tweeted out. So from various sources, genuine sources and publicly known sources. So we know that they're doing the rounds. Stadia are doing the rounds, but these things take time. That's what I'm talking about. So don't assume just because Stadia don't take out a double page spread or a giant screen that they're not at these games conferences, because that's not what it's all about. The big games conferences are all about, well, it is partly what it's all about, but there's a whole aspect, another aspect to it. It's about meetings, doing deals behind the scenes. So whilst Stadia's marketing budget is not on a par with PlayStation and Xbox, and it doesn't have to be, they're not competing with them on that level, right? So that's why you're not going to see the big shout outs, the big posters, the big displays, the big PR exercises. But no, behind the scenes, interviews, meetings, business deals are taking place. They're not sitting, Stadia aren't sitting back in San Francisco going, oh, I think we need some more games. Do you think we need some more games on the platform? Yeah, I was just reading Reddit, and there's some guy here saying the thing wrong with Stadia is it needs more games. We never thought of that. What a brilliant idea. Yeah, we should read Reddit more often. There's some amazing, intelligent people on there who seem to know how to run gaming and a gaming business better than all the people who have been paid and been recruited from the gaming industry. It's weird that, isn't it? It's not how it works, people. It's not how it works. Anyway, there you go. So, as I said, we know for a fact, ladies and gentlemen, we know for a fact that business deals are being had and stuff are in tow, and these things take time. Yeah. All the way live with the Grand Minister of Stadia, Clive. Exactly. The Ministry of Stadia. Welcome. I know. Can you believe it? I knew they were going to. I knew he was going to come down. You know what he wanted? His mate. I tell you, teenagers. His mate bought his own keyboard with him. His own gaming keyboard. Yeah, and his own gaming mouse. That's what he came down to, pick up his gaming keyboard that was just on my desk because they've been using my PC to game. Shocking. Downloading games. Talking about, downloading games, you're having a laugh. They went out to the skate park while the game downloaded. What kind of 20th century technology is that? Because I don't have any games downloaded on my PC because I banned them. Like, you just... We've talked about it before, how you take Stadia for granted. Oh, I want to play that game. Boom. I'm in the mood to play that game. Boom. Play it. Oh, we have to download this game. And it took so long, they went to the skate park. And they said as they left, it'll be done by the time we get back. It's like, what? It's not, you're not cooking a cake. I live in the 21st century, mate. My cakes are instant. Boom. Oh. Can you imagine if Clive was a moderator? Clean that nonsense up, slow. Exactly. Oh, no. Consigno, I can't be bothered. Although, interesting enough, I'd see, it seems a bit, dare I say, a bit more interesting over on Reddit now, a bit more lighter. But there we are. Buy, click, play, 30 seconds. Boom. Exactly. Like I was saying earlier, I couldn't satisfy my need for a certain game. So I just fired up a game in Stadia. No, not feeling it. Fired up another one. No, not feeling it. Fired up another one. No, not feeling it. And I could just keep doing that. Now you could say, well, you could do that on your Xbox. Yeah, but you are limited to the amount of games you've actually got on it. I can't have 250 games on my Xbox. I can't fit that many on. So I'd have to then get to the point, after I've tried, 5, 10 games, get to a point where I have to start removing games and then downloading them. And that's the beauty of Stadia, right? I've got a catalogue, a library just sitting there of 200 odd games. Boom. Oh, I'll try a free trial, 134. I'll just try something. That's the beauty of Stadia. And it all came clearer to me, as I say, with my son and his mate staying and wanting to play games on PC and download games. And how long it was taking. It was taking hours. Anyway, so there we go. How is the poll going? Oh, somebody clip that. Yeah. My son and his mate will find that highly amusing. The percentage of yes there. Are you lot trolling the poll? Can't wait to see our first footage of Saints Row on Stadia from our German and UK friends soon. Yes, of course. It's midnight. Indeed. There's been some mixed reviews, but you never know whether that's sort of a nostalgia kicking in. But from what I've seen an okay review. Okay, sounds like just the one review. No, I've seen a couple of okay reviews, so I'm still hopeful. I played a bit of Saints Row in my effort to scratch that gaming itch this week, actually. So I am looking forward to it, actually. I'm looking forward to it. That should be an interesting one. Let me know. Are you going to be buying? Is Saints Row a day one purchase for you? Let me know. Zero Games for me says, I fear it'll be 30 frames per second on Stadia. I think 60 60 frames per second at 1080p. Exactly, Mr. Bayron plays. What you I think MM2K mentioned it. What you get is you get the sort of the pile in. A couple of people don't like it, and then everybody jumps in. Yeah, I don't like it either because they want to be cool in the gang. Yeah, play it yourself. You be the judge. And the great thing with Stadia is you could buy it, play 2 hours of it, go, nah, not for me, mate. Get refunded. You've not had to download anything, not had to wait around, anything like that. There you go. So you can always try it, give it a go. You'll know within an hour or so whether it's your cup of tea. Nothing wrong in that. And just refund it. It's not Stadia Cramp, it's not type of my game. And you know what I played, actually, Stadia Krampus, is Welcome to Elk. It's one of the games I played this week. I've not played it before. That took a turn from its cutesy little cartoon drawing to suddenly spewing and swearing. Very amusing. No spoilers there. Right. I just wanted to quickly talk about the trials. So, talking of Reddit, which has its uses, basically it's wiki. So I'm going to whiz down to the bottom here for the trials. So 134 trials with all the timings here as well. 134 free trials. Currently playable time trials. I think I was going to check one because I saw a new one come on. We'll check that. And then you've got playable demos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 player. Still got the Immortals Phoenix Rising demo. Interesting. So the interesting thing about this is that in a tweet by the wonderful Jack Deslip, I've just got here, the impact of the free trials on the number of players. No surprise here, but you'll see here. This is game leaderboard growth rate over time. Sniper Elite 4 Stadia leaderboard growth per day. And this, I believe, is when Sniper Elite 4 had a free trial. And look at the jump there in the growth per day because of the free trial. So out of that, they're bound to get some purchases, just statistically speaking. It'd be interesting to know. In fact, well, actually, we do know roughly. Google had stats on the rate of the percentage at which people buy a game after a trial. They talked about it at the Google for Games Developer Conference back in March. Karen Yap mentioned it. So they have an estimate of what the sort of the buy-through rate is. Be interesting to see with 134 trials whether the data stacks up, the new data stacks up. But it's interesting to see that. Plus, is this enough kind of data to feed back to the publisher, Republic? I think it is. To bring Sniper Elite 5. Interesting to see. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that. This is really the impact of one of the sort of unseen impacts. But it's not really, yeah, one of the unseen impacts of the free trials. It's having people are playing the game. This is evidence that people are partaking in the free trials. And out of that, it means it's generating sales, statistically speaking, based on the data that Stadia talked about at the Google for Games Developer Conference. So from what we can tell, without actually having the hard data, based on Google's expectations, based on increasing the leaderboard for something like Elite 4 when it goes to a free trial, we can assume, I think fairly safely assume, that there are sales being generated by this, by games that launched on Stadia a long time ago. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting. The free trials of Stadia are definitely having an impact, says Jack. The Sniper Elite 4 Stadia leaderboard continued to grow at an impressive rate this week. It passed 235,000 names and grew by over 85 names a day compared to other. Wow. And here, if you want this is game leaderboard growth over time. If you're interested, over on the wonderful stadiadosage.com, Jack Deslip coming in with the data on a regular basis. But yeah, some interesting stats there. Anyway, Paul with the truth. He's talking about indie games. Yes. Wouldn't it be great if it had a trial? Saints Row. Yeah. It would be good. Have we had... What games have we had which have launched and had a trial at launch? Did Outriders have a trial? Can't remember. But the trials are impressive. 0 for games. Exactly. Consigner had to help my son install an SSD on a computer. He'd run out of space for games. Whew. For cloud gamers, that's like I had to walk 3 miles through snow to school. Exactly. 0 games for me. He says, if it means better performance and looks, I'll gladly download a game and do some storage management. Each to their own. 0 games for. I think if you are of that ilk and you have a gaming PC and are used to playing, on a 120 frames per second plus on a 4K screen, then yeah. But if you are moving from PlayStation 4 or Xbox One to Stadia, Stadia is more than enough. It will give you a better experience than those platforms, and without the need of the expense of having to buy a PS5 or Xbox if that's not your thing, or an expensive gaming PC. So each to their own. But yes, absolutely, I understand if you are have a gaming PC or a PlayStation 5, you may well choose to play your game on there, and that would make a lot of sense to you. But it's not everybody's choice or option, and that's the beauty of Stadia. And of course, you could just try Stadia. I saw an interesting review of cloud gaming in a kind of mainstream mag, and they still define cloud gaming as some sort of subscription services. Still, do your research, basic research. People still getting it wrong. I mean, they were just lumping in all, Luna, xCloud, Stadia, all in one kind of, you have to have a subscription for these things, and it's rather than separating out the individual components of each cloud streaming, cloud gaming option. But anyway, annoying. It was annoying. 0 agrees. Exactly. And that's the thing about Stadia. Ultimately, it's not aimed. There are, as I've said it loads of times, of course, there are early adopters. There are people who love PC gaming, have got gaming PCs, who love new tech. They've got the Xbox One Series X. They've got the PlayStation 5. They love it. And they've got Stadia and they love that as well. Fine. But they're not Stadia's core target market. It's not their demographic. That's not to say they can't enjoy Stadia, and they do enjoy Stadia, but ultimately it's not their demographic. And, it would be arguably a step down if you have a $2,000 gaming PC and download all your games from Steam, got a massive Steam library. Yeah, the appeal of Stadia is slightly less than if you're a, relapsed gamer, as it were, who used to game, life got in the way. Last gaming experience was a PlayStation 3. I saw somebody in a tweet or a comment say, no, that's it. Somebody's asking about FIFA. On my video I did about FIFA 23, they were saying, I haven't played FIFA since PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3. Is it any good on Stadia? And simple, quick answer is, if your experience of playing FIFA was on PlayStation 4, man, Stadia will blow you away. FIFA 22 was amazing. Yeah? Was it as good as the PlayStation 5 Xbox Series X version? Probably just not quite. Probably just shorter. But it was better than the PC version at the time. And certainly miles better than somebody, if your last experience of playing FIFA. So they were, that was typical. To me, that was a typical demographic. They had a PlayStation 4. They only really played FIFA. They can't be bothered to buy a new console. They can't justify it. Is it worth getting FIFA on Stadia? And right now, if you're in that scenario, the answer is absolutely yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because it's cross-play. So you can play with all your mates. Yeah, assuming they've got a PlayStation 5 or, you know, an Xbox Series X or whatever. Play with your mates. And if it's the only thing you play, all you're forking out for is 60 quid for FIFA. And that's it. 60 quid for FIFA. And if that's the only game you play, that's all you forked out. No need for a console. No need for a gaming PC. All of that. Details lose clicks. Yeah, exactly. Stadia Krampus. That's what I thought. It was but it was just overgeneralized. But you're right. But it's just the pedant in me got me annoyed. I'm the opposite. It means having the versatility of the cloud. I'd rather play at a lower. That's the thing. Versatility. Of course, a dedicated unit in a corner of a room that you spent lots of money on is probably going to give you a better experience, but you can't take it with you. Yeah. But Stadia you can, as I say, go anywhere in the house, play it, be out and about. As long as I've got reception of some sort, I can play it. And that's the beauty of it. Well, there we go. Let's say hello to chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just check here. See any news gossip. Now, quick game. We got time for a quick rumor. Game rumor. Why not? This game here. Because I know FIFA's not for everybody. You know, we got Canadians in the audience. Apparently, Canadians per head are the biggest Stadia players. In terms of the largest number of Stadia players per head of population are Canadians. Some weird stat like that. Anyway. Here, this is called Goons, a hockey party game where you play hero characters to defeat mighty goaltenders in dangerous hockey boss fights. A bunch of announcements to be made at GamesCon. Available on Steam at the moment here. And the good old John here asks, any chance you would consider releasing Goons on Stadia? And Rage Cure, they say, we don't see how Stadia wouldn't be a great platform for a high-octane fantasy sports adventure game. That's a double negative. Let's take the negatives out. We see how Stadia would be a great platform for a high-octane adventure game. So it looks like they've got Stadia in mind. Word in the street is that they're considering bringing it to Stadia. Factor in the fact that they're at GamesCon. Let's meet. Yeah, let's get Stadia. We know Stadia are there, as I said earlier. Let's get them meeting. That's what I say. Anyway, I just thought I'd drop that in. I know there's Canadians out there. Where's the ice hockey game? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What did they say? I know I can't. I was going to do a bad Canadian accent. I won't. Yeah. Right. Anyway, I just thought I'd nip that in there. Just saw that as rumor. Put it in the rumors. I'm not convinced yet. I know John feels convinced. Look at him. Super happy there. I think I need more. I think I need a bit more sauce. Yeah, John, we need a bit more sauce, I think, on that one. But you never know. You never know. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let us go to chat. Let me just refresh the current page of chat because it loves not appearing chat. Let me just go back to the main studio. Then go to chat. It's not going to kick in. Never does. Hates me. Right. Let us go to the poll. So your last chance. I'm going to give you a last chance, ladies and gentlemen. Vote in the poll. Shout out quickly before I forget here. Look, I can see the bottom of the chat. Bit annoying, isn't it? Anyway, no more drama. £1.99. You know what that's going for? It's going for the arcade machine fund. I should change that now to the Odessey Ark monitor, shouldn't I? I don't know which one I want. Arcade machine or the Odessey Ark? Anyway, thank you very much. No more drama for the super chat. Much appreciated. There we go. Right. Let's get to the chat. Why is the chat just like not appearing there? Let's refresh it again, and then I'll just go through the... Oh, it's got a... Brilliant. One chat in there. Oh, at the end. There we are. They'll come up. They'll come up. Right, let's get to the chat. Me chatting. FIFA 23. I can't wait, Bella. Can't wait. As I said, Lord Kensal, his plan is to start streaming FIFA 23. He needs to start practicing. Oh, my God. It's terrible. He needs to start practicing. FIFA 23 on a regular stream will be a thing. The stream setup is looking... He spent some money on it. Literally, he did spend some money to get some graphics. He wanted to make it look really nice. So, can't guarantee the gameplay, but the stream will be very good, entertaining. Look out for that. You check out Lord Kensal's stream from yesterday on his channel and you get an idea what it is. Exactly. Logo gate incoming. What? Yeah, the GamesCon. Exactly. Filling their bags with demo CDs to launch as trials. Yeah, exactly. And they're going to the Stadia server and they're loading up all the free trials. They've ripped them off all the magazines in the shop while nobody's looking. Yeah. They got their mate to distract the shopkeeper, and then they ripped off the free trial disc. Yeah, and then now they're loading it up. That's right. Oh dear. Right, here we go. Fidelity, baby refusing to sleep, trying to take my phone. Yeah, exactly. Hockey would be nice to get on Stadia. I also want a tennis game. Well, there was a tennis game in Tokyo Olympics, of course. But yeah, what kind of... Do you want like a serious tennis game or like a fun Mario type tennis? Not that we'd get Mario, but like a wacky tennis game. Nemis says, why Stadia? One, as Google always aim for group everyone. Game Streamer would be a much better name, though. Game Streamer. Game Streamer. Yeah. Thing about names is I'm involved in some gaming initiative at work at the moment, which I can't really talk about. But coming up with a decision of what they want to call it. And there's a lot of sort of non-gamers in there. And, for me, it's like, just, this is the word. You've got to have game in there. Game. Yeah. Will people understand what game means or gaming? Yes. Yes, they will. Everything's game. Video games. I'm gaming. You've got to have the word in there. It just makes sense. Anyway, name by committee. Nightmare. I don't know what they'll end up with. I'll let you know once I'm in a position to talk about it more. I like what I've played of FIFA 23. The movement, momentum systems are definitely big. Have you played it on the demos, on the trials on PlayStation 5 and stuff like that? Mr. Bayram, let me know. Looking forward to the FIFA streams. Yes, Stelios, you were there. The tennis in Tokyo is really excellent, says Jerome. A serious tennis game. What is a serious tennis game? Which one? Is it the APG Tour, whatever it's called? Tennis World Tour? That kind of thing. They don't really do them, Matt. The Tennis World Tour was the last one. EA used to do Grand Slam tennis and stuff like that. Anyway, let me know which one you think. Right, I'm going to close the poll now. Let's end the poll. Let's see what the... here we go. So, 73% of you think that Stadia will hit 100 games this year. And 26% say no. And that is based on 52 votes. So I see there are 52 votes, but I only see 20 likes. What's that all about? 52 votes, but 20 likes. Hit those likes, ladies and gentlemen, because YouTube likes them. I like them. All of that. Come on. We like the show to get them likes. If you haven't hit the likes, do me the favor, hit the likes. Much, much appreciated. And for the newbies here, hit the sub, of course, and all of that. Yeah, I've got the beta at the moment on PlayStation 5. I went in not expecting much of a difference, but it's definitely a better game. I quite like what I'd seen, but I guess until you play it, you don't really know. So that's good to know. It's encouraging. The AI is a lot harder on World Class now. Some nice additions to the career mode also. Interesting. Yeah, not long now before it comes. Anyway, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, of course, is This Week on Stadia. Twas. So I think, what's next? Or do you think they would squeeze it in late? Normally they would. I'm just going to check my calendar here. There is a possibility we won't know the pro games until next Tuesday. But normally it's about a week or so, and Tuesday would only be like 2 days. So maybe we won't, and we are due a Twas tomorrow. So it would make sense. No guarantees. It would make sense that we get the Stadia Pro games tomorrow. But there is a possibility it may be later in the week or even next Tuesday. You know, hey, Stadia do their thing. Yay, bud. Geek the Sneak just lurking. Oh, great. Since I put the shout out there, extra 3 likes. Brilliant. Come on, guys, hit them likes. So anyway, yes, Twas tomorrow. Check that out. Make sure you, you know, fingers crossed that we do get one. It will be interesting to see and all of that. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And why don't we do this all again? Same time, same place? No. Because I will be back in France. So let me know if you want to see another little short vacation Stadia Monday Night Chat like I did last time. So there we go. No more drama. 57 minutes until Saints Row, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. If you're going to get Saints Row, enjoy it. Let me know what you think about it in the tweets and in the comments below and all of that. If you're watching catch up, the video on catch up and all of that. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Fingers crossed we get a Twas tomorrow. Fingers crossed Saints Row is great, fun to play and all of that. And I'll see you around very, very soon. Thank you and goodbye.